The past couple of years of media coverage have been riddled with stories of survivors sharing their stories of sexual abuse, from Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein to disgraced physician Larry Nassar to the horrific allegations against the late financier guy Jeffrey Epstein, who we see all the time.
Yes.
Look, this story now continues with the military.
Right.
I mean, that's the other new part of it, isn't
right.
it? The military.
Yes.
Talk to me about it. How bad the Me Too element has fit into this finally. We're talking about this finally. And tell me how bad it is.
It's bad. I think it's been an ongoing problem for decades, Pap. Everyone's known about it. The Department of Defense has certainly known about it. All branches of the military are impacted by sexual assault, sexual harassment, and also played with the problem of really not being able to find an effective way to grapple with it and deal with it. They see the impact when they finally do have people come forward and report at the VA's office or within military ranks when they're suffering from PTSD or other problems. But it is such a pervasive issue now. As far as the exact number, they don't exactly know because they believe a lot of these cases are underreported. But the Department of Defense did an anonymous survey, and they sent it out to all branches of the military. And for 2018, based on that anonymous survey, the results were 20,500 cases of reported sexual either assault or some sort of but it was the majority of some sort of sexual assault. And so the majority they found that was, and it's not just women, one of the least talked about parts of this is men on men sexual assault, which is an added degree of shame and humiliation, if you will, for the victim as to not come forward. But they did find in this latest survey that among the most vulnerable were women 17 to 24, because most of what they found is that these women were being attacked by people that they already knew, either superior officers or people that they were already in close contact with. And that's what they're learning, at least even though these results are anonymous, they can at least say, okay, at least they feel comfortable in this environment reporting. It's giving us an idea of what is happening, when this is occurring, how they can deal with it. So they know the problem exists. It's just been a hard time getting a change in the culture to where they feel comfortable reporting it, because sometimes when they report it, nothing happens.
Doesn't part of it have to change with women becoming, with them treating women as equally as they can, both in rank and things like special ops?
Yes.
You know, there are plenty of women that, you know, I've known in my lifetime that could sit in and be part of special op kind of training. And the more that they're centered in these various things, whether it's ranking, whether it's special operations, those types of things, then this does it does affect the amount of abuse that we're seeing. But I'm really wondering what's fueling this problem. It's been we're talking about it now, but it's been around a long time. We did the tailhook stories.
Yes.
I think you did it when you were an anchor, a news anchor.
Yes.
The tailhook stories started then. We started taking a look at it. But what's fueling it now?
I think it's a culture of silence like you see in a lot of institutions, but what makes the military perhaps even more vulnerable to this is, like you said, that, you know, historically, forever, we haven't really had women necessarily in the ranks to this extent that we've seen in the last few decades. But aside from that, the very way that it's put together, you have unit cohesion and almost like officers in a law enforcement unit. It's your partner, but extend that wider out to all the people that are in your unit. And if someone does something to you and you tell on them, even if it was a crime like a sexual assault or a rape or some sort of assault, if you tell on that person, especially if it's a superior officer, then there's this general feeling that you have betrayed the ranks. You're no longer somebody that we can trust. And it's almost like it takes out the poison. You're labeled with the baby in the bathwater. Throw out the person who's complaining as opposed to dealing with the problem and the source of it.
So I saw handling on this on something that I read not long ago where it was talking about the Israeli military, where everybody's required to be in the military. It's a requirement.
Yes.
And the assimilation of females into the military hasn't been totally seamless, but it's been a lot more seamless than what we're seeing here in the United States because there's no distinctions. In other words, if somebody wants to work with Mossad, if they want to work at the highest ranks of military engagement and special operations, and I mean, there's no holdback. There's opportunity across the board.
Right.
I think of that. It was an old movie. It's called G.I. Jane, something such as that.
Yes, I remember that.
And they were trying to talk about this idea that we have to equalize that part of the military before we ever start treating women like they should be treated in the military. But when I look at the Israeli experience and I look at what's happening here in the United States, it's different.
And other studies they've done in other countries where they talk about basically putting men and women together in the military, they found that the better the integration, the fewer reported incidents of sexual assault. Because like you're talking about, I think it goes to that idea of you're treating somebody like an equal, or maybe even going back to the idea of a healthy unit. If you're all working together, when you know somebody, you're less inclined to believe stereotypes about them, or you're less inclined to lump them into you're a less than category.
Right.
So they found that they think that that's part of it. But part of it, too, is just getting in there and feeling like you're not, that you've got some rights, making it easy to report, making it easier to investigate. And then you have a whole nother element, which is a whole nother topic, about military law and how that helps keep a lot of these cases from coming to light as well.
Let's pick up with that another time. Molly,
Yes.
thank you for joining me, okay?
Thanks, Pat.
The Monsanto Corporation continues to sell an herbicide called Roundup. If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup and then developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you might be entitled to financial compensation, and you have a right to take action now.